Good day and welcome to Breakfast Show on Coal City 929 FM, Enugu. I'm your host, Ekene Odigwe. Housing is one of those basic needs that should provide security, comfort, and dignity. But for many people today, finding a decent and affordable home is becoming increasingly difficult. Rent is rising, the cost of building materials keeps rising, land prices are going up, and many families are spending a significant portion of their income simply trying to keep a roof over their heads. But what is driving the rising cost of housing? And what can governments, developers, and ordinary Nigerians do differently? Today, we are looking at practical solutions to this growing challenge. Joining us is the town planner, Dr. Thaddeus Asogwa, a housing development expert and a member of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. Dr. Asogwa, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let me begin with the issue that our listener can immediately relate to. Why has housing become so expensive in the recent years?
You see, housing is now expensive because the cost of everything that goes into housing or building has gone up. For example, if you check the price of land in cities like Enugu, Anambra, Port Harcourt, and Lagos, or even Abuja, first of all, the land is scarce. It's very difficult to see an empty land in a very good location. And when you see, the price is always high. In fact, the price of getting a land or buying a land in these cities is more than the price of construction. For example, if you want to get a good land in GRA, Enugu here, let me say 500 square meters a plot of land, it will be more than 100 and something million naira. Likewise, in cities like Port Harcourt, Lagos, and Abuja, the price of land alone is more than the amount we use to construct a building there. And if you check the cost of labor and everything, is on the high side, and it's not only on housing. The economy is not friendly to us, the developers and contractors. So all these things contribute to the reasons why the cost of housing is up now.
So from what you're saying, it is not simply a question of landlords increasing rent. There are several factors affecting the entire housing system. Let me take you a little deeper. How much of the problem is caused by the rising cost of land and building materials?
Landlords are not actually the cause of high cost of housing now. No, it's a general issue. Because if you say that the landlord or landowners in the developers in Nigeria, they have problem, they are great. What of those in the United States? What of those in Asia, Europe, and other parts of the world? Housing is a general problem, and shortage of housing is also a general problem. But if you bring the issue back to Nigeria, you find out that the economy is not friendly. And as a house owner or a developer, as a landlord, you buy land, and the cost of buying land is very expensive. Building materials are very, very expensive. And the cost of labor is also an issue. And coming back to Nigeria here, getting grants or housing loan from commercial banks are not easy. Even if when you succeed to get loan, their payment plan is not friendly and their interest rate is very, very high. So it's not issues of landlord being greedy or not. It has nothing to do with landlord. If you check the price of land in Enugu, Asaba, all these cities in Nigeria, major cities in Nigeria, you find out that it's very, very expensive. And when the landowner wants to sell land to a developer, he will not cut price for it because you are a landlord or this person or that person. No, it has nothing to do with landlord or anybody. It's a general economic problem in Nigeria.
What about the cost of infrastructure, roads, electricity, water, and drainage? Do these also significantly increase the final cost of housing? And if a developer spends heavily providing basic infrastructure before constructing the house itself, does that cost eventually reaches the person who buys or rents the property?
That a city is developed is because of the infrastructures there. When we talk about development, we talk about pipe-borne water, we talk about paved road, electricity. If all those things are not available, then we know that this city is not developed. So the cost of infrastructure is what contributes majorly to the cost of housing. Like if you go to advanced countries, the government give housing subsidy, and this housing subsidy contributor is all about infrastructure. They provide infrastructures like housing, they pave the road, they bring electricity, gas, all those things. And all these things contribute to development. In fact, this is what is called development. That the GRAs of every state is doing well or is considered as the most developed areas because it has all these infrastructures. And to hear that a place is a developing area or developing cities because the infrastructure is gradually creeping in or coming to that particular location. Any city or any location without these infrastructures is considered underdeveloped. So what I'm saying here is that infrastructure, that developers or house owners who built infrastructures with their money, they are going to put the prices of their house very, very high because they spent a lot. In fact, a city is nothing without infrastructure, and it contributes 80% to the development of a particular city. And to the cost of housing, it contributes a lot. Thank you.
Okay, let's bring this closer to the average Nigerian family. A worker may earn a modest monthly salary, yet rent can consume several months' income at once. How serious is this housing affordability problem from a planning and development perspective?
To be very sincere with you, my brother, there is nothing like affordable housing right now because according to United Nations modus operandi about housing, they say that civil servants or public servants should allocate not more than 30% of their income to housing, whether you are renting, leasing, or buying. But right now, if they are paying you, let me say 1 million naira, and you want to allocate 300,000 naira to housing to solve your housing problem, maybe you want to build, you'll find out that it's not this possible now because cost of everything has gone up. And in Nigeria, you cannot see an average civil servant that receives up to 1 million naira monthly salary. Even some, in fact, judging from what they call it, minimum wage, a civil servant that is any minimum wage cannot afford to pay rent in the major cities we have in Nigeria. Check somebody earning 77,000 naira and the person is in Enugu or in cities like Enugu, Abuja, any city in Nigeria. The person cannot afford to pay for 2-bedroom flat or 3-bedroom flat. We are not talking about building. We are just talking about paying rent. Because if you collect that your minimum wage, you eat, you transport yourself to work, and you do a lot of things. Your family depends on that, your salary. And the 30% cannot even go anywhere. Even the whole of the money, the 100% of the 77,000 that is minimum wage cannot pay for your rent. So housing is a big problem we are facing right now. So, and it takes, in fact, for us to solve the problem, government has to team up with developers and with private sectors to ensure that this problem will be solved.
And there are people who are forced to move further away from their workplaces because they cannot afford accommodation in urban centers. Does poor housing affordability also contribute to long commuting distances and traffic congestion?
Exactly, my brother. It also contributes to poor service delivery. For those people on essential duties like medical doctors, health professionals, security agencies, some of them, they do not have good accommodation inside the hospital facilities, and the money they are paying them cannot afford a comfortable house inside the urban area or close to the place they are working. So if you see if they decide to live far away from the hospital facilities and that is a case of emergency, before they get to the destination, before they get to the hospital, things must have gone south. So it's a big problem that causes poor service delivery, and it also causes traffic congestion because during that period they are trying to commute to get to their workplace. They'll be causing traffic issues that will lead to congestion.
All right. If you're just joining us, this is Breakfast Show on Coal City 929 FM, Radio Nigeria, Enugu. And we are talking about the rising cost of housing, how to make housing more affordable. Joining us is Town Planner Dr. Thaddeus Asogwa, Housing Development Expert and member, Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. You can join us online at coalcityfm929.net.ng. Back to you, Town Planner Dr. Asogwa. Let's talk about the government. Government at the federal, state and local levels has an important role to play in housing development. What practical steps can the government take to make housing more affordable?
When we talk about the issues of housing and how government can help, sometimes people don't take it serious. But if we truly want to tackle this housing issue, then the government at all levels, they need to partner with private developers and people and businessmen so that we can solve this housing issue. Even if we cannot solve it totally, let's reduce it. For example, I was in Baku, Azerbaijan, that's Eastern Europe, and what their government is doing that they partnered with private developers to deliver affordable housing for the masses. In fact, different developers that practice individually, they partner with each other to deliver mass housing. And I believe if Nigerian government can do that, is something that will help us to eliminate and reduce the housing issues we are having. Because housing is a capital project, it's an expensive project, and sometimes individuals cannot afford to do much. And also, Nigerian government, they need to rethink, especially states in Nigeria that have ministries of housing and housing development corporations, because mostly the primary objective of these ministries of housing should be to deliver affordable and accessible housing to the public, to the citizens of that particular state. But now what most of them do is that they get land, they pastel land and start selling it. No, it shouldn't be so. What they should do is to make sure they provide affordable and decent housing for their citizens. And in a situation they want to sell the land, they need to sell the land to people that has the capacity to develop that land as at that time they want that development to be done. Not to share land or to sell land to big men that just want to invest their money without developing the place.
What about access to affordable housing finance? Many Nigerians may be able to afford monthly repayments but cannot raise the huge amounts required upfront. How important is affordable mortgage financing in solving this problem?
Yes, mortgage financing is a good way to solve or reduce the housing problem we are facing in this country. But then, many Nigerians, especially civil servants, don't know the processes of partnering with mortgage bank to solve their housing problem. Now, let me tell you something. If you are newly employed, what you need to do is to first of all go and enroll with a mortgage bank. They'll be making your monthly contribution or savings to mortgage bank. There will be a stage you get, then you'll be qualified for a particular housing loan or mortgage. But many people don't know that. They think that you only meet mortgage bank when you want to get a house or something like that. But it's a journey you start early enough. As soon as you get employed to a particular firm or organization, then that is the right time for you to start the journey. So that within few years you'll be qualified and you'll be able to access that mortgage financing. So it's a solution, but I believe mortgage banks or national orientation agents, they need to orientate Nigerians more about mortgage banks and how to access their loan facilities or something like that.
As a town planner, you have a particular perspective on this. Are Nigerian cities expanding in a way that makes housing more affordable, or are we creating urban areas where land becomes increasingly expensive and inaccessible? How can better urban planning help bring down the cost of housing?
Yes, good urban planning will contribute a lot in reducing housing crisis because planning is all about improving people's quality of life, whether you are in the village, in the town, or anywhere. And once people in the village are benefiting a lot from good urban planning, for example, if the people in the village are enjoying good facilities, social amenities like electricity, water, paved roads, you find out there is no need for them rushing to the urban area, causing housing crisis because all those things they want to come and do in the cities are available in the rural area. So urban planning can help to reduce housing crisis. But the government, they need to support planners and they need to stop interfering with planning professions so that planners will help us, help Nigerians, help the world to reshape and reduce the housing crisis we are facing.
Let's move from the problem to solutions. If a housing developer is listening to us right now and wants to build affordable homes, what are the things you would advise that developer to prioritize?
I think developers should pay more attention to partnership. Developers should partner with each other. For example, if you are a developer and I'm a developer, and individually we don't have money to build road down to a place we are developing a state, you can see it will be very difficult for people to come and patronize us. But then when we partner and put hands together to develop that estate and put access road and develop it, put social amenities, water, electricity, everything there, people will come and patronize us, and from there we get money to develop more. So real estate developers, governments, people should learn how to partner and do business and develop houses in Nigeria so that we have enough.
As we conclude, what is your message, Doctor, to a Nigerian who is worried that owning or even renting a decent home is becoming increasingly beyond their reach?
Well, I have to be honest with Nigerians and people listening to me right now. Things are not getting better. The prices of things are increasing day by day. The economy is not friendly. It's not only here in Nigeria. This is a global issue. So one thing I'm advising them to do is to start engaging in land banking. Forget how far the place is. Once you can get to that particular location within 1 hour from the center of the city, go and invest there and start developing that place gradually. Before you know it, before 5 years, you have a house of your own, be it bungalow or duplex. Just take that step today. Don't mind how far the place is from the town. Once you can access the place within 1 hour from the center of the city, then that place is a good place you can invest because that place must surely develop within 10 to 15 years. And you need to own a house and your children need to have a place they call home. So start engaging in land banking. Just make sure you deal with a verified professional and invest there. Forget how far or how undeveloped the place is. Within 5 to 10 years, the place will be turned into a city and you enjoy your new home.
Okay, thank you very much, Town Planner Dr. Thaddeus Asogwa, housing development expert and member of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, for joining us and helping us understand not only why housing is becoming expensive, but also what can be done to make decent housing more affordable and accessible. For our listener, the conversation reminds us that affordable housing is not simply about constructing more houses. It is about proper planning, accessible land, infrastructure, affordable finance, efficient construction, and policies that put people at the center of development. Until next time, remember, a decent home should not be a luxury. It should be part of building a healthy, productive, and dignified society. Right? This has been Breakfast Show on Coal City 929 FM, Radio Nigeria, Enugu. Producers has been Jude Obu and Chioma Obiekwe. Supervisor is the General Manager, Coal City 929 FM, Kate Nebo. Zonal Supervisor is the Deputy Director Programs FRCN, Enugu Zonal Station, Joy Obitilata. And the Executive Producer is the Zonal Director FRCN, Enugu Zonal Station, Dr. Ikechukwu Eze. My name is Ekene Odigwe. Thanking you for listening. Good morning.